All right, Bahamas. Let's go to work. Let's go to work. Let's go to work. Let's go to work. Bahamas. This episode could be long. This episode could be long. Now listen to this. I got a joke for y'all this morning. Listen to this joke. Last night, my wife, my good wife, second to stop. Whenever someone say my good wife, you know something bad. You know they want to say something bad. Listen to this, Bahamas. Last night, my good wife proceeds to tell me what I should talk about and what I should not talk about on this show. Now, this God's show. This ain't my show. This God's show. And she want to tell me what I can say and what I can't say. So you know that didn't go well. So listen to this, Bahamas. She trying to tell me I need to talk about Obia. Because apparently, her friend, or anyway, the woman she is by her detox drink from getting attacked from the Obia people. So I must talk with Obia. Now, Bahamas, you know better than that. So I do what I always do when my wife asks me to do something. I said, no, don't bother me. Because here's the situation. Bahamas, what I always tell y'all about Obia, I always say the same thing. When you go into Job, what did Satan tell God? Satan told God, I can't touch the man. I can't touch his family. I can't touch nothing he got. Why? Because you will put a hedge around him. So I can't touch Job. So for me, Bahamas, it ain't nothing to talk about. What I always tell you guys, I said, listen to me. I know it's a black candle. I know it's a few black candles. It's at least 100 different black candles out there burning with my name on it. They probably get some red ones too. You get all the Obia people after me. I'm pretty sure. I come on this TV and I talk real reckless. I let y'all know that Jesus Christ is the way, the truth, and the light. And ain't no getting around that. And I'm pretty sure they don't like that. But every single time they burn a black candle for me, my life keep getting better. I tell you, because who God bless, no man can curse. So every single time they burn a black candle with my name on it, my mouth get a little bigger. So I'm pretty sure they give up. They give up right now. They say, you know what? We're gonna stop burning these black candles. Maybe they burn the red ones now. But my life keep getting better. So that's why I don't talk about Obia. But she proceeded to harass me. I feel like I was getting tormented. She is convinced I need to talk about Obia. So here's the thing. Right after we finish the 10 Commandments, we can talk about Obia. So if you out there getting high, if you're out there, you know what hiking is? If you're out there getting tormented in the middle of the night, you get demons squeezing you in your sleep till you can't breathe, we can talk about all that. So we can make this one deep. But after I finish the 10 Commandments, I try to stay focused. I'm focused. So after we finish that, we can talk about Obia. So that's a segue. So after the next 4 weeks, then we get into Obia. Because see, I would hate to believe that my good Bahamians, y'all is watch me on Sunday and then go practice Obia on Monday. I refuse to believe that. There's no way the people who watching this program practicing Obia. Come on, I rebuke that in the name of Jesus. I mean, and she was tormenting me. My good wife was tormenting me. She went on to tell me about how the lady in customs is how they carry the crispy. She said that the money have to be crispy. The money have to be clean, crispy money to the Obia. I said, what kind of thing this is? I don't know nothing about. Listen to me. I don't know nothing about these things. I can honestly tell you, Bahamas, I don't know nothing about these things. I believe in Jesus. Ain't nothing can touch you once I believe in Jesus. I come in by the blood. But anyway, she want me to talk with Obia, so we're going to get into Obia. So we're going deep into Obia, but after I finish the 10 Commandments. I'm doing this one just for her. All right, I'm doing this just for her. So I thought it was funny because I mean, she was tormenting me. I felt like listen to me. It was bad because she convinced. Because I said you're being selfish just because the woman who will sell you your detox drink getting tormented. I must now go and carry the whole Bahamas left and go talk with Obia. Anyway, we got to talk with Obia. So the next 4 weeks we just diving into Obia. But watch this now. I'm focused again. Let's get focused. So commandment number 6. Thou shalt not kill. Because I'm not going to let anything distract us or detract us or get us off course. We focus. We get through the 10 Commandments. Then we can talk about Obia. But like I say, I don't believe my fellow Bahamians into that. We be a Christian nation. I can't believe that. But we can get into it anyway. So, commandment number 6. Thou should not kill. What exactly does that mean? Let's go to work. So here's the situation, Muhammad's. What does it mean when God says, thou shalt not kill? If you believe, because see, in 2021, it was 119 murders. Of the 400,000 people living in the Bahamas, it was 119 murders. If you believe that 119 murders was the amount of killings in the Bahamas in 2021, then the devil is a liar. Come on. So what does it mean to kill? Here's the situation. The devil could care less about how many people in the grave. What he cares about is how many people in hell. Let's go to work. Remember now, 119 people is less than 1.1% of 400,000. If the devil only managed to murder 1.1% of your population, then we doing good. Remember now, he took a third. The devil managed to murder a third of the angels in heaven. 1/3 of the angels follow Satan and experience a spiritual death. That's what we're talking about. It's not about the body, it's about the soul. So when God says, thou should not kill, thou should not murder, he isn't talking about the body. He's talking about the spirit. Let's go to work. See, this one gonna be deep. What did God say? Jesus said, don't fear him that can kill the body, but fear him that can kill the body and soul by throwing it into hell. It's all about the spiritual death. This one is a spiritual awakening. So we're going to work today. In fact, I have a story. Let me tell you a story before I jump into this. It's a real story because this is something that killed me on the inside. True story. I was working on a building. I was working on a building on the main road. Because I can bring this point home right here in terms of what a spiritual death looks like. I was working on a building on the main road and I was on top of the roof. And it was a group of kids with this guy. They came in a white truck. I'll never forget it because this happened about a year ago. They came in a white truck. It was a man driving a white truck and they came out the village. So they came in a Nassau village and they had all these kidnaps with them. And the guy came to me and he said, you know what? Hey, mister, can I park on your property so that we can sell these kidnaps? So I was like, no problem. I was happy for them. So it was a man, it was about 5 kids with him, like around 6, 7, 5 young boys. So that means the young boys are all through the road selling these kidnaps. And I was on top of the roof just smiling because I was so happy. I was happy about the fact that they saw what it means to make money, how easy it is to make money. Because they literally like selling 2-3 bags of these every 10 minutes. So I'm sure each one of those little boys made about $50 selling kidnaps. So I was happy about this. I was smiling. I said, look at them. They learn how to hustle. From a young age, they learn how to hustle. And then here's the situation. When I came off the roof, and this is the part that hurt me. And then I'm going to tell you about the part that killed me. The part that hurt me was when I came off the roof. One of the little boys said, hey, you want to buy some of these kidnaps? And I said, no, it's not because I didn't have the money on me. I just didn't have change on me. So I had 50s on me. I was like, boy, I don't have the change. So I told the little boy, you know what? I could buy some from you tomorrow. But I didn't tell him why. And then he proceeded to beg. He said, please, mister, I just want to get something to eat. So if you can only give me $1, even if you don't want to get nap, just give me $1 so I can. And it hurt me to my heart. Because this is the same little boy. I watch him make at least $50 out there on the road. So why are you begging? So I pulled him aside and said, listen to me. I just watch you make money on the road. You have money in your pocket. You probably have more money than me in your pocket. So why are you begging? Don't turn yourself into a beggar. You see what it means to make $1. You see how to hustle. So why are you begging? So anyway, so little boy, he just ran off and he went to finish selling the naps, right? Because remember, he had money on him and it hurt me. But anyway, story goes on. So it starts to rain. And so then the guy came to me who was driving the white truck who brought the little boys up. They said to me, you know what? Can we stay inside the building? Because the building doesn't have any windows. So I said, cool, stay in the building. So the little boys run up and down in the building while it was raining. I had no problem with them staying in the building. But I had to go. But here's the situation. I had about 14 bags of cement hidden under some old plywood in that building. Bahamas. When I came back the next day, every single bag of cement was gone. And that's what broke my heart. That's what the part that broke my heart, because now they're thieves. So the problem is this. You making money out there, but yet you willing to beg. How are you going to make money, but you willing to beg? And then on top of that, I allow you to come on my property and park your truck. I allow you to come in the building so they can shelter you from the rain. But yet you still steal from me. So you turn yourself into a thief. So what am I trying to tell you here? What I'm trying to tell you here is this. Before anyone can become a murderer, before anyone can kill somebody, because they're just killing the body, they would have had killed themselves first. See, we could go deeper with this one. I'm talking about all the people out there, and you sleeping your way to the top. You have a job, but yet you turn yourself into a harlot in order for you to make more money. I'm talking about all the men out there. You have a job, but you're reading the almanac every day. You're reading King Tut every day. You're trying to find out the people's birthday every day. So you turn yourself into a gambling addict, as opposed to working hard for your money. How do you do that? And that's what it means to you to encounter a spiritual death. A spiritual death is basically where you take on the identity of something else, but it ain't Christ. Because it's impossible for you to be a beggar when you have God. It's impossible for you to be a thief when you have God. It's impossible for you to be a harlot when you have God. And that's what we're talking about today. See, it's the real death. I'm talking about all the people who assassinate people's character on air. See, that's what the young people say, on air, for nothing. You assassinating people's character. You may not pull a trigger, but you assassinate their character because you want to move up. So you turn yourself into a contract killer by the words that come out of your mouth. That's what we're talking about today. So this one gonna be deep. 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 Because the problem is this. If you believe that the 119 murders in 2021 is the full murder count or the full murder rate, then you gotta be crazy. The devil is playing for keeps. If the devil could murder 1/3 of the angels, you think that in the Bahamas, he only murdering point something percent of behemoths? Let's go to work. Let's go to work. Let's go to work. Let's go to work. All right. So this is what we're going to do. In this one, to look at thou should not kill, we go into the very first murder in the Bible to understand exactly how it is you kill someone's spirit. You see, that's the most important part of this. Remember, this isn't a physical war. It's a spiritual war. So how do you kill someone's spirit? And I've already told you basically what it looks like. If anyone you see who isn't being themselves, and by themselves I mean are not in the image of God, you turn yourself into a beggar, you turn yourself into a thief, you turn yourself into a harlot, you turn yourself into a gambling addict. God has given you all the resources for you to be the best you can be, but yet you turn yourself into something defiled. You defile yourself. What did God say? In the last days, men and women, they will defile themselves. If you look at what's going on in the United States, they don't want to be called a man. They don't want to be called a woman. They want to be called an it. They say they're non-binary. Right now, they're trying to pass an act where President Biden of the United States basically wants to put on the passport that you could be a man, you could be a woman, or you could be non-binary, whatever that is. So if God say you have men, I created man, I created woman, they want to be an it. Whatever non-binary is, that's what they want to be. So they don't like man, they don't like woman, they like everything, including the animals. It's that type of dark demonic forces we fighting with. So let's look at how people kill themselves. Because see, that's the key to this. How you experience a spiritual death. Because like I said, it isn't about how many people in the grave. Because remember, the grave can hold God down. It's not about how many people in the grave. It's about how many people in hell. It's a spiritual battle. It's a spiritual death that we're looking at. Let's go to work. So, we're in Genesis chapter 4. And what I want you to look at is this conversation between God and Cain. This is the first murder in the Bible. I want you to look at this conversation so we can understand exactly how people die spiritually. And then we can talk about Obia, just for my wife. Now listen to this. And we're in verse 6. This is Genesis chapter 4 and verse 6. And the Lord said to Cain, why are you angry? And why have your countenance fallen? So here it is. When you look at the Bahamas, and you see this a lot in the Bahamas, you see angry young men. And that's what God saw in Cain. Not only was he angry, but his countenance, that means he looked sad. He wasn't happy with his life. He wasn't happy with what God gave him. He wasn't happy with the way he's being treated. So God asked Cain. So if you're a young person out there, this is God talking to you. And God asked them, why are you angry? Why are you sad about your situation? And then God goes on in verse 7. If you do well, shall you not be accepted? And if you don't do well, sin lieth at the door, and its desire is for you, but you shall rule over it. So here it is. God is saying, I'll read it again. If you do well, will you not be accepted? So God is saying, if you just do right. So it goes back to the people who are allowed in the building. I gave you shelter, but yet you steal from me. How is that possible? Like, how can you sit with a conscience and say, you know what, it's all right? Just because you believe I have it, or you believe, all right, this person have money, so it's all right if I steal from them. But you have a clear conscience. So God is saying, if you do right, if you look after others, if you're your brother's keeper, won't you be blessed? And that's what God was asking. And let's continue on. Because sin lieth at the door. And see, that's the problem right there. What God was saying is, if you don't do well in life, then sin lieth at the door. That means the devil is waiting on you. So it goes back to the hedge. See, I tell you, I was going to talk about Obed. I'm bringing it back. It goes back to the hedge. What did God say? God said Job was an upright man. He feareth God and he stays away from evil. And what God is saying here is, if you don't do right, then the devil is waiting on you. Why? Because what did God say about Satan? He's a conquering lion. He's a roaring lion. He roams the earth seeking whom he could devour. And the important part there is whom. He can't devour everybody. That's why I ain't scared of no opium man. I ain't scared of no black candle. I ain't scared of no red candle. Because it's whom Satan can devour. If you let the hedge around, you can't be touched. But if you open the hedge, if you allow demons in your life, then you're in problems. And that's why God told Cain, Satan is waiting at the door. Sin is waiting at the door. But you will conquer sin. It won't conquer you. Just don't allow it to. So do right by others. And let's continue on with the story. And Cain talked with Abel his brother. And it came to pass that when they were in the field, Cain arose and killed him. So why did he kill Abel his brother? For one simple reason. It was a spiritual death before there could be a physical death. Cain was already dead. Before a man could rape a woman, that demon of lust had already conquered him, had already devoured his spirit. Before a man could kill another man, it's the demon of anger, the demon of jealousy. They would have already conquered that man, had already killed his spirit. So what am I trying to tell you? What I'm trying to tell you is, especially if you're a young person, hope is a weapon. The problem is a lot of you feel like it's hopeless. That's why people say it seems like for the youth it's hopeless. It seems like there's no hope. Hope is a weapon. All you got is God. You ain't got nobody else. But at least if you have that weapon of hope, when Satan is at the door, you get something to fight on with. Like you don't have to go down the wrong path. Hope. I get hope. I get hope in what? I get hope in God. My light's off, but I get hope in God. I have a hope that it's going to be all right. So the problem here, he killed his brother Abel. Why? Because the physical murder came after the spiritual murder. That demon of jealousy had already destroyed Cain. And then let's continue on the story. See, this is an important part of it. And listen to this. And the Lord said unto Cain, where is thy brother? And he said, I know not. Am I my brother's keeper? So listen to that. And the important part there is, I know not. So here you have Satan talking. So God asks Cain, where is thy brother? And immediately when you hear that lie, because what? The devil is the father of lies. You hear Satan talking and Satan said, I know not. I don't know where he is. And then on top of that, Satan challenges God. Look what he says. Am I my brother's keeper? And that's important. We're going to come back to that. And then listen as the story goes on. And then God said, where is Abel thy brother? And he said, I know not. Am I my brother's keeper? And God replied, what hast thou done? The voice of thy brother crieth to me from up out of the ground. So what is the important part here? Listen to what it says. What hast thou done? And we can take our time on this one. So God said to Cain, what hast thou done? And the reason why we're going to take our time on this one is because we're going to discuss how it is that someone dies spiritually. How do you die spiritually? So God said to Cain, what hast thou done? These were the exact same words that he asked Eve. He said to Eve, what hast thou done? So the same thing God is asking the son, he asked the mother, what hast thou done? And what did Eve say to God? It was the serpent that made me do it. That was her reply. So what does a spiritual death look like? And I'm going to take my time on this one. A spiritual death is this. What did God say? God never said to you, my people die from an abundance of bullets. He never said, my people die from an abundance of guns. He never said, my people die from an abundance of criminals. He never said that my people die from an abundance of demons. He said one thing. My people die from a lack of knowledge. How is it that if you're Eve, you lived in the garden, everything was perfect. You lived in the garden. You saw what Satan did to you. You saw how Satan deceived you. How is it that you're going to have a child now that's going to repeat the exact same mistake as you? What did God say? Train up a child in the way they should go. And when they are old, they should not depart from it. The problem with the Bahamas is this. We have a bunch of children who don't know what they're fighting. When you look at gun violence, you look at gang violence, they don't know that they're fighting against Satan. They don't know what it means to get on their knees. They don't know that hope is a weapon. The only thing they know how to do is ball their fists. Why? Because there's no one there to teach them, so they die from a lack of knowledge. So the exact same demons is killing the people in one gang is killing the people in the other gang. The exact same Satan that took Eve out of the garden by deceiving her, deceived her son Cain. It's the exact same thing, and that's the problem. That's how you die from a spiritual death. Because what you have is a generational curse. I tell you, bringing this one back to Obia. The problem is you curse yourself. Let's go to work. I'm going deeper today. You talking about the Obia man. The Obia man didn't curse you. You curse you. The minute you chose to beg for money when you can make it, you curse yourself. You turn yourself into a beggar. The minute you chose to sleep with someone to get ahead, you curse yourself. You turned yourself into a harlot. You made yourself less than money. The minute you went out there and chose to gamble, and that's how you're going to make your fortune, you turn yourself into an addict. The Obia man didn't turn you into an addict. You turn yourself into something else. The minute you chose to curse yourself and say, I'm gay, you call yourself a sin. The minute you chose to do that, you curse you. You don't need the Obia man to curse you. And that's the problem. That's why I don't talk about Obia. So this one for my wife. The reason why I don't talk with the Obia man, because they don't have no effect on me. I'm more afraid of me than any Obia man. Life and death is in the power of the tongue. Obia is when you speak a curse on yourself. You think another man can speak something on me? That's impossible. I can care less what you got to say. You can say whatever you want to say. But I know I got God. And once I have God, I can do anything. So what I care about what other people got to say. People curse me every day. I'm pretty sure I talk about the Catholic Church all day long. Stop worshiping Mary. Mary can't pray for you now, and she can't pray for you at the hour of your death. See? That's probably another black candle I get burning for me. Come on, I'm going to work. Homosexuality is a sin. That's probably another black candle. Someone that's burning another black. I'm pretty sure somebody burns some black candles for me. But I could care less what they say. Because I tell you the truth. They curse Jesus. They call Jesus a wine bibber and a glutton. They said Jesus worked for the prince of demons, and that's how we cast out demons. Come on, I'm going to work today. So what am I trying to tell you? What I'm trying to tell you is this. The way you experience a spiritual death is simple. It's through a lack of knowledge, because you don't understand who you fight. You don't understand that when you speak the words against yourself, you say, I'll never amount to anything. Or the UBP or the Bay Street Boys, they're in charge and we can't get nothing. You curse yourself. You don't need no Obeah man to curse you. You do it on your own. Everyone, the Obeah man this and the Obeah woman this. That's a joke. See, when we get into this Obeah thing, we can talk about Elijah. Elijah killed over 4,000 of them in one day. Y'all don't want us to have a revival if we remove them all. See, that's a joke. Nobody care about no Obeah, man. They got no power over you. You get a hedge around you. It don't matter. Obeah, all this funny stuff. You get mighty knowledge, freaking yourself out and doing all that. Listen to me. You don't need no one to exercise no demon for you. Go to Christ. You go to Christ on your knees and now one call over. I don't need mighty knowledge to pull up in her Bentley and put a cape over me to release some demons. I mean, what kind of thing this is? I refuse to believe that people listen to me. This one go deep. See? Hey, y'all got me losing my cool on this one. You know, I usually nice and preserve and I'm quiet. I got my swag on. Now y'all got me shouting and screaming and talking about demons and Obi and all kind of funny stuff. Let's get to work. So anyway, so like I said, we can continue on that another time. But what I'm trying to say, Bahamas, is this. Before I go off topic again, my wife calls this. Before I go off topic again, the simple fact of the matter is this. My people die for a lack of knowledge. The generational curse ain't got nothing to do with the Obeah man. The generational curse is the fact that you didn't teach your kids in the way they should go. And now they have departed from the truth. The truth is God made a man and a woman. Not something else like they do in the United States. It was Adam and Eve. Not Adam and Steve like they doing all around the world. It's as simple as that. That's the simplest way I could put it. Now let's continue on before I get distracted again. And then listen to this. And God replied and said, what hast thou done? So you see a vicious cycle happening here. The voice of thy brother crieth to me from the ground. And the Lord said to the woman, what hast thou done? And then verse 11. And listen to this now. And now art thou cursed from the earth, which had opened up a mouth to receive thy brother's hand. And when thou tillest the ground, it should not henceforth bring forth a strength, and a fugitive and a vagabond thou should be on the earth. So what do we see here? The exact same curse that God put on the father, he's putting on the son. So what did God say this to Adam? By the sweat of his brow, he should go and get bread. He should have to till the earth. And now what is he saying to Cain? He's saying the earth, that same earth that has your brother's blood in it. Now it shall not henceforth give you wealth. So what is God saying? And this is the most important thing I can tell you. So if you don't remember nothing else, remember this. When God cursed the earth, it's for one reason. And listen, this is good. Every single thing that you see above the earth came from below the earth. Every single thing. So if you built a mansion, all the bricks and the cement that came from below the earth, all the glass came from below the earth. I don't care if it's plastic. All those materials had to be developed from something under the earth. If you get gold, chandeliers, and diamonds, that came out of the earth. So when God is saying, I curse the earth, what it basically means is, if you're willing to kill, if you're willing to shed your brother's blood for this little bit of money, now the same earth from which everything comes is cursed for your sake. You've made your life that much harder. And that's the problem with life. What we don't understand is that in order for us to break the curse, we have to be our brother's keeper. Let's go back to the cross. The reason why Jesus went on the cross is so that we didn't have to go on it. The only way to break the curse is to do what Jesus did and love others. Love God with all our heart, all our mind, all our body, and all our soul. And love our neighbor as ourselves. We have to be our brother's keeper in order to break the curse. And that's why, what does Satan say? I my brother's keeper, because Satan knew it was a curse from Adam's time. See, it's how much people you bless, is how you measure success. It's as simple as that. You have to break the curse before you can break through the ground. And let's continue on. And when thou tillest the ground, it shall not henceforth yield her strength. A fugitive and a vagabond thou should be. And Cain said to God, my punishment is greater than I can bear. And that's what I want you to understand. So let's do a quick recap. So number one, when God said, thou shalt not kill, he's talking about a spiritual death. What he's talking about are all the people who have removed themselves or stopped becoming or don't want to be in the image of God and have become something else. Beggars, harlots, fugitives, vagabonds, addicts. We turn ourselves into something that's against the will of God. And how do you experience a spiritual death? The fact of the matter is from a lack of knowledge. So you see these ongoing cycles from generation to generation. So what you see is Adam dying a spiritual death, and then Eve dying a spiritual death, and then Cain dying a spiritual death. So the same curse is passed on from the father, is passed on to the son. But if you pass Christ on, that is a generational blessing. You break the curse. So Jesus Christ may bless us, guide us, protect us, and help us to break the curse of the spiritual death. In Jesus Christ's name we pray. Amen.